What's up, guys? It's your favorite girl back in the building one more time. And y'all, we here. We doing the thing. You know what I'm saying? And so y'all gonna come on a ride with me this morning as I drive to my destination. But anyhow, today, what are we talking about? One of the things that has been on my mind is the fact that we often fear what we don't know, and on top of that, we often listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. So, what do I mean by this? All right, so when it comes to the market, a lot of people try to put their 2 cents in what you should invest in, what you shouldn't invest in, what you should look into, what you shouldn't look into, and they simply tell you not to look into the market, not look into other physical assets, not look into things that people are literally just afraid to dive into because they don't know about it. And so we have to begin to shift our mindset to learn that everybody don't know everything, number one. Number two, everybody is not willing to take a risk to be able to build wealth. That's number three. And so we have to get out of the habit of saying, oh, well, I know this person for 30 plus years, so I know they know what they're talking about. So if they tell me not to invest into the market, I'm not going to do that. First of all, do you know what their portfolio look like? Do you know what they are invested into? Do you know what they're not invested into? Do you know who they're connected to? Do you know who they're connected with? Like, do you know truly their background enough to say, I should take their advice? Everybody who decides to not invest into the market, even just a little bit, is ignorant to the fact that your money is already in the market. You're just not getting the profit from it. When you look into your retirement, stuff like that, your money, in order for your money to build some type of yield, or for you to have it increase every year, your money has to go into some type of pot and be invested into something so that it can grow yield. Now, there are some accounts or some retirements where you can definitely control everything your money goes into, which is why I always push Roth IRA or regular IRA. Some people have 401k or these other retirement accounts that I just don't prefer, because you're going to be paying taxes after you withdraw the money during retirement. Roth IRA, you do not do so, which I could talk more into my own investments in my Roth IRA later on. But at the end of the day, because I was willing to dive into this, mind you, nobody taught me about a Roth IRA. I had to go seek the information out on my own. And so with me seeking out the information on the Roth IRA, I had to learn that when my money goes into the Roth IRA, I need to invest my money in the market to make sure that I'm getting the biggest bang for my buck, so that when I retire, my money just wasn't sitting there. Some people's money have been sitting in their Roth IRA and haven't been attended to at all. It's not invested into anything. And if it is and getting some type of yield, the most that it's getting probably is about 4% at the most. So when you have people that don't know what they're talking about, they're going to send you down the wrong path. So hook up to somebody who is very well versed in different things, physical assets, digital assets, knows a little bit about stocks or whatever the case may be. But when you only know somebody, and this, I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of it comes from the older generation, because they were afraid to do something different. They were afraid to look into something new. And so they only focus on real estate. They only focus on the other physical assets like that. But they forget that they missed a lot of wealth, or they missed a lot of money or missed a lot of knowledge building because they were so afraid. I know the saying, go for what you know. True. It works. It does work. Go for what you know works in some aspects. In others, it does not. When you simply just go for what you know and you're not willing to learn, you mess yourself up. So again, when you're taking information from people, especially the older generation, who has never, ever had any other assets other than physical, you might need to second guess it. Not saying they don't have any value, because I do listen to a couple of YouTubers who are definitely on the older age range. I'm talking about maybe 50s. I've listened to I don't know if you guys have probably heard me talk about this guy, Robert Kiyosaki. Dude got to be in his 70s and 80s. I mean, old money. Now he's one of the ones where he strictly, well, for the most part, he usually just invests into a lot of physical assets, but he just recently decided to start building his wealth into Bitcoin over the last couple of years. But at first he was like, oh, this is a scam, this is this is that, this is this. And then he had to wisen up in his older age. He had to say, you know what, hold on, wait a minute. This Bitcoin went from this price to this price, and I missed out on that because I'm just only doing this. Y'all, the younger you decide to learn, the younger you decide to listen to wisdom, the younger you decide to apply what you're listening to, and really just use discernment and whatever you think is best for you, I promise you it's going to work out way better for you than if you decide to opt out of everything. Get some information from somebody who knows what they're talking about. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm just talking about somebody in general, because somebody on here that's listening to this has been listening to grandma, has been listening to grandpa, has been listening to whoever, and they don't even have half of what you believe the Lord is calling you to. It's time out for, oh, I'm just going to wait and see how this works, because when that asset starts working, usually it's too late. Let me give you an example. So when I started investing back in, and excuse my voice, y'all, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I was getting over a cold or what, but yeah, you might hear me sniffling every so often. But I don't, when I was younger, I think it was back in 2019, 2020, I said, you know what, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to learn a little bit about stocks. I'm going to try to understand it. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Y'all, I procrastinated so much that the money that could have been going into the market, I missed the opportunity because I was waiting. And then on top of that, I was under a leadership that did not agree with putting money into the market. And when I say leadership, I mean church leadership. I was under a leadership that did not at all believe in putting their money into the market. And so when I was up under that leadership, I was like, all right, I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure that I'm not, doing anything that I'm not supposed to be doing, but not realizing or really double down on the fact that this is what I'm called to. I'm called to learn so that I can teach others in places or in things that most people are not in, that most people are not willing to look into, that most people are not exposed to. My saying used to be, your mind is only willing to go beyond what you have been exposed to, or something like that. Or it was something along those lines, and I can't even remember it right now because I don't even say it anymore. I probably need to go back to saying it, and as I'm editing this video, I'm gonna put it right there, put it right here, so that you know exactly what I used to say. But it's true. You can only go beyond what you have been exposed to when you're willing to put the work to go beyond what you have been exposed to. What about, ETFs? What about stocks? What about, all of these different things that we need to learn? Because believe it or not, y'all, this world is going more digital than ever. This world is going more digital than ever, which means that even your banks, like SoFi, they're proving that it can work completely digital. Those are going to be the next millionaires. And no, it's not all about money, but I truly believe that a wise man increases his learning in the word and increases his learning with people with wisdom around them. It's wisdom to look at where the world is going. Not saying we have to be of the world to be in the world, but there are going to be areas that the men of God and the women of God are going to have to go into, but they have to have knowledge to go into those areas. Do you think that people of the world are only supposed to have knowledge about wealth, AI, so on and so forth? How are we going to be able to show our light or shine our light in places where most are not willing to go? And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, the reason why people don't even want you to explore new stuff when it comes to the market, when it comes to new innovative technologies, is because they are not called to it. So before you take information, make sure you're not called to what you're trying to shy away from. Ooh. Let me tell you again. If you are going to decide to take information from somebody, make sure you are not called to what you're trying to shy away from. Because the minute you decide to take information and apply it to your life without praying about it first, you could be walking in disobedience. Had I still been in a place of just trying to obey man rather than God, I wouldn't be making this video right now. I really wouldn't be investing right now. I wouldn't be diving into more information right now. I would not be teaching people right now. I would not be helping people right now, because I simply didn't understand how much I'm called to this thing. So please do not downplay what you want to learn. Please do not downplay what the Lord is calling you to. Pray about this thing when you are called to different areas that other people couldn't even imagine. Do you really think that some of your millionaires that are Christians, if they would have listened to people who were not called to their profession, if they had listened to people that were not called to their profession, if they had listened to people who were not called to the areas that they were called to venture into? Some people are just simply not creative. Your leader, the people you're listening to, the people that you call wise, the people who are around you may not be creatives, but the Lord created you to be a creative. Like, do y'all see what I'm getting at? There are people that are telling you to do things and they are not called to it. I need you to pray. I need you to pray, seek the Lord, seek his face, and see what the Lord is saying. Now, if the Lord is saying something and your leader or whoever that you look up to is telling you to do something different, then you have to make a decision. Do I follow the Lord or do I follow man? Again, I promise you, the only reason why it took me so long to get to this place, to be consistent in what I believe the Lord has called me to, because I have a desire to help other Christians in this journey, because I realize the deficiencies in the financial area of faith and finances. Yo, I had to get out of that. That was the only delay. And who I was listening to, what I was listening to. And what I was listening to was changing my motivation. It was changing my desires, even though the desires were put in my heart by the Lord so that I can do what he needed me to do or he needs me to do. So please, 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 please take heed to what I'm saying. Make sure you're praying about the information that you're taking in. Make sure you're praying about where you need to go. Make sure that what is being said by the Lord is just matching up with your desires, and make sure that nobody's ever able to deter you from where you're headed in the plan that he has for your life. Never let another man control your life. Only God, only our Heavenly Father can. And even in that, the Lord don't even control your life. He allows you to walk the path he set you out on. But even in that, it's a trust and a faith thing, because you have to be obedient along the way. You have to have faith along the way. It's a journey for a reason. It's a testimony for a reason. So y'all, all right, enough with the serious talk. I hope y'all have an amazing day. I hope you guys are encouraged today, and I hope overall that you guys are able to encourage somebody else along the way as well. So with that, I think that's all I got for you, and I hope y'all be easy, y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.